Hola, ¿cómo vas? Hola Alejandra, hola alumnos. Me llamo Jonas, vivo en Suecia. I hope it's okay if I answer your questions in English, since my Spanish is not too good. Thank you for the questions, by the way. I can start by talking a little bit about myself. My name is Jonas. I'm soon to be 33 years old, and I've been running my own businesses for the last 15 years. I have started a few different kind of companies. I started my business career doing board games. So imagine Monopoly, a board game you sit around with your friends and you play together. I made a Monopoly. I made it about the city where I live in, Umeå, a small city in the northern part of Sweden. I made a game about Umeå. I made it from scratch, had it produced in China, 1,000 games, and I sold them here in the city of Umeå. After that, me and my colleague back then, Anders, we went to business school together. I studied business here in Umeå at the university for 3 years. When I finished studying, I started a business straight away together with my friend Anders. We went to the country of Bangladesh in Asia, and we started a factory where we made carpets, we made baskets, we made lamps like the one up here behind me, and the purpose was to show that it's possible to produce goods like this in a way that's positive for the people working in the factory, and in a way that's good for the environment. So when the factory was at its biggest, we had 200 employees in Bangladesh that worked for us full time, and we sold home interior items mostly to companies in Sweden, and so stores here in Sweden were our customers. After that, we sold that company in 2012, and since then I've been working as a consultant in business development. So what I do is I work for bigger organizations, and I help them to be entrepreneurial. So I go into big companies and I help them to start new projects. I help them to do market research, and I also run a business. I run Sweden's cheapest bookkeeping firm, because after 10 years of running my own businesses, I got tired of having to pay too much to the accountants. So I started my own accounting firm. So that's what I do right now, consulting and running the accounting firm. So that's my companies, my education, and my experiences so far. I chose to run a business instead of working for someone else for a few different reasons. I would say number one, I want to be free. I want to have freedom. I don't want anyone to have to tell me. I don't want to feel that someone can tell me what I should do. I want to have freedom to do whatever I like. So I would say that's one reason. So what that means is if I want to sleep late one day, I can do it. But that will also mean I will work late in the night instead. But I don't want to have to ask someone if I can do that or not. I just want to be able to do that. Number two, I think that if you study in a university and then you start working for a company, you start at the basic level, at the entry level. So for example, if you start working at a bank, when you finish university, you start from the bottom. You will be taking care of customers in the bank, and then you will climb slowly but surely. And it's the same way wherever you're going to start. You're going to start at the bottom, and it's really hard to get strategic experience and it's hard to get good experience when you work at entry level. It takes a while before you can talk about strategic questions. And if you run your own business, you get to work with strategy right away, and you get to work with a wider variety of areas and a wider variety of questions do you have to work with on a daily basis. So I would say that my experience is that if you start your own business, instead of taking an entry-level job, you can actually skip the entry level And if you want to run your own business for a few years and then go into a larger company, you can come in as a middle manager instead of starting at entry level. So I think it can be a good strategic move for your career. One challenge is that when you run your own business, you're going to be more vulnerable when it comes to your economy. I mean, because there's no one's going to pay you every month, which is the good thing when you go into a regular job, and you will not have that. So it's important to create an environment where you can run your company for a long time and don't need income. So, for example, for me, when I ran my own businesses in the beginning, I worked part-time in a grocery store. So I was working in the food store for many years in the beginning when I ran my companies, because I didn't make that much money in the beginning. The situation is different now, but it takes a long time to build a company that's profitable, which means that you have to have something that pays the bills. So either if it's a relative that helps you out, or if you have a partner that can pay for you for a while. I mean, you have to have the support of people around you. So I would say in the short term, to start a business, at least not from my experience in Sweden, will not be better economically. But if you look in the long term, if you look 5 or 10 years ahead, it's better to run your own business than to start working for another firm. I would say that one of the coolest moments for me running a business was when we had been having run our factory in Bangladesh for 2 or 3 years, and we started to see what that meant for the people who worked for us. We had our factory in a small village called Bagatipara, and this is a village like in the middle of nowhere in Bangladesh. And usually women don't have a place to work. There are no paid jobs for women. So basically, what we did was we gave women an opportunity to work an opportunity that they hadn't had before. So that really changed the situation for the women that worked for us. So I had one example was one woman told us that before she started working for Red Q, she was just working in the house, taking care of the family, and so she cooked dinner at night, and the family sat down around the table, and first her husband ate, and then the brother of her husband ate, and if there was any food left, she could eat when her husband told her that it was okay, you can eat now. Since she started to work at Red Q, she was the one bringing in the money to the family. So now it was she who told her husband when he could eat. So really just turn around the social structures in the village, which was really awesome to see that giving women a well-paying job was a way to empower them, to give them a stronger role in society. To hear that kind of stories of the positive impact that your company has, that those times are really when I get a high from being a business owner. Lows as a business owner, I would say that I have one example from when we had our factory in Bangladesh. Our goods were produced in Bangladesh and shipped on big boats in containers to Sweden. And one time we had ordered a big container, a 40-foot container with goods from Bangladesh, and the goods were worth around $50,000, which was a lot of money for us in our company at that time. And when the goods arrived to Sweden, they were dirty. When we opened the container, we saw that we will not be able to sell these products, which basically meant that we would be ruined. We wouldn't have any money left in our company. So when we realized that was really tough and really low for both me and my colleague Anders. But what's interesting with running your own business is that you have to try to find possibilities. So what we did was we rented a place they used to clean trucks, to clean big lorries, and we rented it for 2 days. And we worked for 18 hours a day with high pressure washing machines and washed the goods. And then we had big warm air fans that dried our products. And finally, we only had to throw away maybe 10% of the goods, and the rest we could actually deliver after cleaning them. What started as a really downwards experience, we could turn it into something good in the end. But that was really tough. I have a few advice for young people who are going to start their own business. I would say number one, it's better to start early, before you have a big family that you need to pay for, before you have a car, before you have a house, when you don't have too many bills to pay. That's a good situation to start your own business, because you don't need to get your monthly check, or at least not a big monthly check. You can afford to invest your time for a while before you get any revenue back from your company. So start early. That's my first one. Number two is, the first step you do, the first thing you do when you start a company is to sell. What you don't do is sit in your office and develop a business idea for a very long time and invest a lot of money to develop a product and then go to the customer. What you do is, you have an idea, you write it down, you only produce as much as you need to present. I would say that if I'm going to make this pen, I'm not going to actually make this pen before I sell it. I'm just going to draw a sketch of the pen. And then I take the sketch to a potential customer and sell the sketch. Basically ask them, okay, I'm going to make this pen at this price. How many pens do you want? So before you make a large investment in producing the pen, make sure that you have already sold the pen. So sell first and then you produce, at least in the beginning. And grow step by step. So instead of investing a lot and then going to the market, walk a little bit, walk a few steps, go to the market, go to the potential customer and ask them, is this still interesting for you? This is what we're doing. This is the pen. Show the sketch of the pen. This is the pen we're going to make. Do you still want it? And then take step by step until to make sure that you know that you will be able to sell the products that you develop. So grow organically. And invest a little bit at a time together with customers. I would say so. Find the customers before you do any investments. I think that's an important suggestion from me. I hope that my answers were helpful to you. And if there are any other questions you have, don't hesitate to send them to me. I'll be happy to answer. And you can send them through Alejandra, and she will forward them to me. And if not, take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.